Now, as you heard, this is the nation's first major commercial airline crash since the early 2000s.
Seth Kaplan joins us in the studio this morning to give us some perspective on all of this. And Seth, you've been listening to those air traffic control tapes all night long.
Yeah, and we've heard the tapes from ABC of the moment of the impact. I want to play the air traffic control audio from just before the crash. In the audio, the Army Black Hawk is Pat 25. It's the code for that aircraft. Here's the air traffic controller talking to the Black Hawk about what he refers to as the CRJ. That's the CRJ 700, the kind of airplane it was, the commercial airline flying for American Airlines from Wichita. This all goes quickly. Try to listen carefully if you can.
Pat 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pat 25, pass behind this CRJ.
And then we saw that video of what happens next. There it is once again. We did our best to line that up there. That's video separate from the audio. And here's what happened visually on the map. You heard pass behind the CRJ was the direction to the helicopter, right? This is the helicopter, Pat 25, passing in front of the commercial aircraft. So what is clear so far is that the helicopter appears to have been where it should not have been. Now, a separate question is why it was there, whose fault it was. Those are questions that are going to take weeks to even come up with sort of preliminary findings, and perhaps a year or two before the National Transportation Safety Board comes out with a final determination. But that's what we can see right now. And also, when you heard the air traffic controller sort of ask the helicopter, do you see the CRJ? And then very quickly say, pass behind the CRJ. Clearly something was emerging there. He didn't even he didn't wait for the response. He just said, go behind it. We saw what happened next.
Okay, Seth, so the big question, is the loss of life in an incident like this. What are the chances that they're going to find any survivors in the river this morning? Yeah,
Ellie, I mean, we all want to hold out hope, don't we? And certainly if you're the family member of somebody on that plane, you're glad that officially this is still a rescue operation, not a recovery operation. The reality is here that for somebody to have survived this crash, first you had the impact in the air, those two planes colliding. That's hard to survive. If somebody did, that plane was, according to what's called ADS-B data, that's data transmitted by the plane that you can find on FlightAware, sites like that. That plane was 375 feet in the air. That's 35 or 40 stories tall, the equivalent to a building that tall. So imagine somebody falling from a building of that height and then surviving the impact with the water. That would be hard to do. And then you're down there in the 30-something degree water where somebody would pretty quickly succumb to hypothermia. But the likelihood that they even survived both of those impacts, very low.
And again, Seth, remind us how many people were on board each of these aircraft.
Right, 3 people on board the Army Black Hawk, we're told from the Defense Department, and 64 people on the plane. The CRJ 700, the way American configures it, can hold 65 passengers and 4 crew members, 2 pilots, 2 flight attendants. There were 60 passengers, we're told, from American Airlines on board last night, plus those 4 crew members.
We talked about, Seth, that this is pretty rare that we see something like this happen. I mean, this is now going to be a massive investigation, as you mentioned, and this airport in D.C. is closed. What does that mean across the country?
Well, yeah, all kinds of effects. Just think of when something even not tragic, but disruptive happens. A snowstorm, for example, right? Or a hurricane in the summer, those kinds of things. So you have flights in and out of Reagan National that are being canceled this morning until, as ABC told us, at least 11 o'clock this morning. And this is an important airport. It's a hub for American Airlines, so no huge coincidence that this would involve American Airlines. When you look at the flights going in and out of there, something like half of them are related to American. Officially, this flight operated by PSA, an airline owned by American, one of those small regional airlines, like Piedmont, which has a maintenance and crew base at Harrisburg International Airport. But yeah, this will impact things throughout the country to a degree. Although, given the importance of the aircraft, you'd be surprised that, or of the airport, I should say, you'd be surprised there aren't all that many flights at Reagan National because there's just one major runway there. It's a crowded airport where airlines are restricted from just adding as many flights as they want because of all the demand to fly to this very important airport, not a whole lot of space there.
And just in case anybody is wondering, I did just check HIA's website. all of their arrivals and departures are still running on time this
And
morning.
indeed, there are no flights from HIA to Reagan National regularly scheduled. United has flights to Washington Dulles Airport, which does remain open, as does Baltimore Washington International Airport. In fact, those two airports become a little more important this morning because they're the only way to get to Washington. Not so different temporarily, at least, from what happened after 9/11. Reagan National, in that case, closed for weeks after that because of security concerns. This morning, we're told at least until, again, 11 a.m., and then that should reopen.
All right, thank you so much. Seth Kaplan live in the studio for us this morning.